Okay guys, I'm back with this week's product of the week. And I said, just a sec, I'm just getting my cup of coffee. Sorry, I had to move my camera, so it might be a little bit close, but we'll see. Okay, I had to, because I was just on showing my Tis the Season workshops. Oh, my light is like falling right over. Holy smokes. Okay, so I had to adjust my camera. I hope I'm not too close. But so for this week's product of the week, like I said, I thought that this might be a little bit of a surprise to everybody, but I picked the Hello Pumpkin Deluxe Scrapbooking Workshop. As you guys know, I am the first person to say that this paper pack is not about just Halloween. I have a full workshop that just features the Hello Pumpkin, and the PML cards and all the scrapbooking pages are day-to-day pages. So when I saw this workshop, I knew I wanted to play around with it. So I cut it exactly the same way as they have in this program. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. So it was an added workshop that they added in this fall. And like it says, it features the Hello Pumpkin. And what they wanted to show was that Hello Pumpkin was not just for Halloween. And like I said, I totally agreed. So they've bundled some products together. And if you order the full bundle, or there's a partial bundle too, there's a savings. So included in the bundle, they have matched it up with cardstock to create the workshop, the Hello Pumpkin paper, there's the compliments in here. If you do the full one, there are the stitch circle thin cuts, and there's a stamp set. So, and then there's white ribbon, the page protector, so you have everything all together to assemble it exactly the way they have it. So like I said, I've cut it out exactly the same way that they have, but I've switched some things up. So, sorry, 1 second here. I just want to make sure I'm live in the right spot. As you all know, sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself, especially doing a second one in the same day. So I'm just going to walk you through how to actually use this. So once you order the product, you can print off the workshop, and then you can cut it out. So it just gives you like a general idea of some of the things that you might want to have handy for adding to, or to actually be able to assemble the workshop. And then there is a cutting guide. So like I said, I cut it out exactly the same way that they did. I've probably added some things in, but as we assemble it, I'll go through what I've done, kind of thing. So I cut it out, like I said, exactly how they had it. When we do this, I might try and do, this one's not the one I'm going to do today. Today I'm going to assemble actually this layout. And I actually haven't read the directions yet, so I'm going to get to the morning, Barbara. Yes, this is for sure the Hello Pumpkin, my full workshop, is one of my favorite ones from the fall. Okay, so I'm going to assemble these 2 pages today. So like I said, I think I've added a few things, and I'm going to try And for lots of it, just follow the directions, which sometimes I'm not so good at. But so I picked out pictures of my daughter. These are obviously not Halloween pictures at all, or even fall pictures or anything like that. So I have grabbed the inks too that they have recommended, and I did grab a few different things that weren't included in the workshop but are still available to purchase. So I grabbed the rose embossing folder. Lots of people have it already. I thought that it went super well with the feel of this workshop. It's still available to order on the website, and it's Z3343. It's in the going soon section of the website. So sometimes it gets overlooked just because it's not in the annual idea book, but it's there. And so included in the bundle is one of the Stacy Julian's stamp sets. So this one, the texture, I think it's the textures one that they call for, colorful textures. Yeah. And then I also grabbed the other one, the quotable words, and that's all so far that I've grabbed extra. I also grabbed the washi tape that coordinates with the workshop. I think I might use a little bit of it. And like I said, I have the ribbon, and I might incorporate it into this layout. We're just going to see here. So what I did was I cut out all the pieces, and I kind of decided what I wanted to add to it. I think that the embossing folder is perfect for especially these pages. Because they added the boutique in, it kind of went along with the other items in here. So I cut out the pages the way they were. I picked my photographs, and then I took the 3 different layouts, and if I had extra stuff that I wanted to throw in here, I've just kind of piled it on my page. So here you can see this is the other one. I'm just going to move it out of the way. We'll see how long it takes me to actually assemble this page. This page is pretty easy. I have a box. Hopefully that doesn't fall from where it is. I have a box right beside me that's got all the extras and the cut pieces. And I'm just gonna put this onto my Versamat, move it off the cardboard. I just needed a temporary house behind me for all the things, because I wanted to be able to pull it apart and figure out what I was going to do here. So okay, let's see. I'm going to do this one first. And okay, so it says prepare pieces as shown, place the black gingham paper for base, attach 3H, so this bottom piece. So we're going to do that first. I actually refilled my tape runners before I started today. So we'll see what else I forgot, because I always forget something. So I'm having a lot of fun with this product of the week idea. So I'm going to keep on going with it. Sometimes it'll be something completely different, like last week with the thin cut box. Okay, so now attach 3I and J. So these are these 2 pieces right here. I'm just going to, I think, so I wanted a white mat on my photographs. So I have the actual photo mats from the workshop, and I just trimmed down her photos. This is funny because this is actually she's dressed perfectly for the paper. And the wall is a wall outside of the mall, and it's painted with this perfect color to match the paper. So it was fun. It was super windy, so her little romper in some of the photos actually blows right up. So we didn't use those photos. So I'm just going to attach my photos to the mat, and I'm just going to move them off to the side. So I thought that this was super interesting because it's actually an interesting color combination, and maybe not one that I would normally pick, the peach and the ballerina at the same time, and then to throw the raspberry ink in. I don't know that I would pick so many pinks typically if it was just me. So I'm going to show, so this is the peach piece for the side, and like I said, I ran it through the embossing folder. It's probably not super easy to see, but it just kind of added another layer. And so then I'll have the paper, the embossed cardstock, and then some plain cardstock. So for this one, on this side, it says 1.5 inches from the side and 3.5 from the bottom. So I'm going to grab my ruler, and because I have it on my mat, because I'm all about the having things straight. Crooked things make me crazy. Not to say that I don't have crooked things on my scrapbooking pages, because I totally do. But if I can help it, I try not to. Okay, so 1.5 from the side. So I've just lined up my ruler on each end of my mat at the 1.5 inch mark. And so 1, 2, 3.5. I'll just add it here. Especially if you have lines, then it's super noticeable when things are crooked. So, and because I'm not, I actually stand up when I scrapbook at like a counter height table, so it's a little bit easier to get things straight. Okay, and then the other side, this is 1.25 from the edge and 1 3/4 from the bottom. So 1.25 is here. And again, I'll just, and both sides are actually super pretty with this embossing folder. So I thought it just went perfectly with like the roses that were on the compliments. So just make sure I'm straight here. Yikes. Okay, there we go. So 1 3/4, so about here. So if I pop off, just yell at me, because like I said, I moved my stuff this morning. So I happen to have 2 photographs that were actually the right direction, but you could totally just flip the whole layout the other way. Okay, so now we've attached those, dovetail and attach 3K. So that's this piece. So when I cut these bundles or workshops, I like to just lay them out in order. It's the same thing I do with my workshops, is when I'm cutting them, I lay them out for, sorry, it's like chewing gum and talking at the same time. So, so I put them in like piles. Not always do I get the right pieces in the right piles, but normally you can figure it out by the time it comes to assembling it. Okay. So then add your photos. So I think maybe I'll do them in this order. Like this. Oh, I can hear my box beside me might fall. Just move it beside me. I just kind of have a box beside me that's got all my extra pieces and parts in it, so that kind of too, when I'm like, if I'm thin cutting or whatever, I will thin cut some extra pieces just in case I want to add them in. So I will just add these on here now, like so. This I'm not really overly concerned about getting them the way necessarily they have them. I just kind of want them how they are pleasing. Okay, so like I said, I grabbed out the other stamp set too. And because now we're at the part that says embellish with compliments and circle arrows, dovetail, remaining ballerina, washi tape, compliments, and attach over the right photograph. So that's this cluster they're talking about, and then add your journaling. So I have extra stuff here. So this they used as a journaling spot, and I'm actually, so I took a stamp from the other set, the quotable words, and I just stamped love, love, love on top of it. And that's what I'm going to add in my cluster here. And so the neat thing about these stickers from the compliments in the boutique workshop is that there's a whole pile of them all in a long strip, and they kind of look like washi tape. So I'm just going to cut it to the length that I want it. Of course, the dogs seem to think they want to go outside now. They're just going to have to wait. So what I did was there were little tiny strips in between them, and I just pulled them out and then cut them off the sheet and then kind of laid them out on the piles while I was getting them ready. So I'm going to add it because I want this, I think, about here. And then I'm going to add this piece in. I'm going to trim off about this much of it. And I think I'm going to use this other piece down here. So the super good thing about all of the workshops is that even though I've used this already, like my regular Hello Pumpkin everyday workshop, you would still never know that these are exactly the same. So I'm just going to pop this circle. Nope, I'm going to put the circle flat, I think. And pop up the rows. So even if they were side by side in my scrapbook, you would never know that they're the same. I'm just going to add kind of foam tape in a few spots and kind of just put them where they're going to go. This was actually supposed to go over here, but I think I'm going to add it down at the bottom. Like this. Oh, you know what I might actually add on here? I think I'm going to add some silver embossing thread. 1 second, just let me grab it behind. Of course, it's not where it's supposed to be. Okay, maybe it's in my box from last week. This is my box of all my stuff from last week. This was super fun. All that stuff. Oh, guys. It's really not that big a space. Okay, so it's not going to be embossing thread, because this is all I can find is this little tiny piece. I was thinking I might add it back here. I used it to tie up all the ornaments last week, so I'm not really sure why it's not just sitting right here. Does anybody see it? That's so strange. Okay, sorry, 2 seconds. Of course, I'm like knocking everything out of the way. Sorry for that commercial interruption. So I just grabbed some more, because I think it would be super cute. And I'm going to show you how I create like a little nest with them. So I'm just going to pull off a pile. And the embossing thread is super kinked when it's on the roll, and I'm assuming it's because it's so thin. So you can either just do it with the heat of your fingers or pull it through, and look how straight it gets. Now, to create like a little nest, I just kind of roll it around however many fingers I want, like for the diameter of the circle, and then I just tie it up. You can either like tie it up in one piece or just have another little tiny piece that you use to tie it up. And the whole point is I want it messy. I don't want it perfect. So it doesn't matter if it gets tangled or they're not even, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. Sorry, I got new glasses yesterday, guys, and I'm having a hard time. I knew it was going to be an issue. Okay, so now I have like a little messy bundle, and I'm just going to tie it, and then they're all different diameters. So I just trim off whatever I don't want. Okay. And then I'm just going to put it back here as just kind of another texture. So I'm going to add it. I'm going to add a glue dot to my circle here, a few of them. And then I'm going to place it just on the back, like that. And now I'm going to use the thin tape to adhere that, and then this one has thicker tape on it. You guys tell me if you're getting bored of watching me. I knew that it was going to be an issue picking this one because it is, it takes longer to assemble them. Okay, so I think I'm going to go like that. There. Perfect. Now I'm glad that I went and looked for it. I'm sure that I will find the other package as soon as I get off. But now I'll have this one and I'll just throw it in my... Okay, so now I'm going to create over here this little bundle, and I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to do this one, but for this one I want it to say, so on the quotable words there's a little one that says 100%, and that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to stamp it with black. And I'll put this over here so I don't end up with ink all over myself. So if you guys have suggestions for other things that you would like to see for the product of the week, please add them in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions. Like, is there something that you don't know what to do with, or you want different ideas for using? This is just the back of the little Fiskars mat. So I am going to, I'm not going to dovetail. I just want like a diagonal cut, I think. And I'm just using, this is just a piece of the zip strip. And I cut it too short. 1 second. Let me dig in my box here. You know what? I'm just going to use a piece of the washi. The piercing tool, I will say, is different than our original piercing tool. And yes, I do actually use it a lot because I like the size of it, because it's the same as the inserts in the stamp sets. So I have a tendency just to grab it, and I'm actually not pulling out the insides of the stamp sets anymore. I just like it because it's a little bit smaller and easier to use, I think. The piercing tool is different because it is thicker. But I use a piercing tool all the time to take everything, like to pick everything up, like sequins, or I think I need something else here. Sequins or glue dots, things like that. I have a tendency to use a piercing tool a lot. So I mean, I have 2 and 3 of every single tool on my desk. Like, I should actually take a picture of how many scissors I have, because I have, I'm sure, 3 or 4 pair of scissors. I have 4 rulers because I can never figure out where it is when I go and use it, when I want to use it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have two. I have old piercing tools from when I used to paint, and I still use them all. I really do like the smaller tip that's on all of them, but I don't know if it's just I need to get used to the other one, but it is different. The tip is much wider. Okay, and I pulled this out. I think I'm going to add this here, because they didn't use this in any other part of the workshop, so I think I'm going to add it down here at the bottom. Nope, I'm going to add that back down here. And I'm going to move this over here. I have a tendency to work more in a triangle. And they have a triangle, but because so their triangle is right here for these 3 embellishments, but because I'm adding this title down at the bottom, I'm just moving it around so that I find it more pleasing. And now that I've added this in here too, I might add just a little tiny bit of the washi tape up at the top, just to kind of bring it in. I'll just tuck it underneath. Lots of times that's what I use the piercing tool for too. Like, it's not like you're going to wear out a piercing tool, so you might as well keep it around. But all of my tools, I have for sure 2 full sets of everything sitting in different spots. See, this would have been handy to have thought about before I stuck everything down. And it's hard. I don't want to stick my head in the camera. There we go. So I'm just moving the visual triangle from here, here, and here to here, here, and here. So I'm going to put this just on thin foam tape. Which is right here. I have an addiction to foam tape, so we will use lots. And I kind of will always play with it to make sure that I like it. And maybe I'm just going to add this. So this is just the extra from the Compliments washi sticker that I didn't use before. You use your piercing tool to hold it in place. See, again here, I should have, I think I will just, luckily nothing is, there we go. I can tell right away that that's crooked. Sorry, guys. Okay. That's better. Okay. Much better. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, so this one I'm just going to tuck under here. So this one they had in the other cluster up top, but I'm just going to add it down here. And this one I have I'll just go like this and make it stick out a little bit here. Okay, getting there. Okay, same thing. I'm just going to take another little bundle of the embossing thread. And like I said, it's just another texture on the page. So between the thread, the flat cardstock, and the embossed cardstock, it just kind of adds another layer. So again, I'm just going to tie it up. Off the ends. And now this is an example of where I would actually use my piercing tool, because I'm going to stick my thread. So you can see this one's totally beat up. It's like all covered with glue dots, because once they stick, they are stuck. So they are not going anywhere. Oh, and now I have glued the title down to my hand. Okay. There we go. I just want another little thin piece of foam tape in here. Because this is thin foam tape here, I'm just adding the thicker one, and I'm just going to kind of squish it in there like so. So this is the peach, and then it's got the raspberry stamped onto it. So there we go. Here's this side done. There's this cute little cluster. So I think that turned out super cute. Okay, let's grab the other side. So this is the other side. And let's see what's going on here. I am going to pull these. So the same thing, I took this piece of, I'm thinking it's still the peach, because it looks the same, and I've embossed it with the embossing folder, and so that's going to be my mat back there. And same thing, I wanted the white border over the photograph, so I'm going to just adhere the photo of her first. I'm just going to set it aside because we're going to have to do the bending of the paper. I'm not really sure why the dogs are going crazy upstairs. So, okay, I'm going to set this aside. And so we can figure out what I need to do here. Oh my goodness. I have my mom's dog right now, and oh my goodness, I have my mom's dog right now, and he is a little bit of a barker sometimes, and when they get going, there's something else. So that's very funny. Okay, so let's figure out what we're doing here. So we are going to fold this paper over and Rusty, come here. Come here and lie down. We'll see if that settles him down. Okay, so it says with a light pencil, mark 1/2 inch from the top on the left edge. So right here, and 3.5 from the bottom, and then fold. So here is what we're going to do. I'm going to take my ruler and yes, I always have like lots of projects on the go. Everybody knows that. So I've actually had this cut out for a while and just sitting there. So I'm just going to lightly score it. And nope, that didn't work. It's not. Oh, yeah, now I can see it. It's super hard to see. The score line. So it actually makes sense to, if you want to put the pencil marks to score, I would actually do it on the lighter side because then you could actually see it. So there. It works. It's not perfect. I should have probably actually read that before I went on. I just got my launch stuff yesterday. So for anybody that doesn't know, we have in January our next idea book coming out. And so if you're a consultant, which if you're not, you should be. So during the months before the idea book goes live, we get to see and order from the new idea book. So it's like Christmas for us. It was like Christmas yesterday for us. Okay, so I'm going to just lightly tack down now this bend, fold, I guess. So I'm just going to pick a few spots. And there we go. And now, so if I was to do it again, if you want to do the pencil marks, I would do them on the light side. They're easier to see and score versus me trying to do them on the dark side. It was just harder to see where I wanted to put them, where the score line was. Okay, so no different than it's hard to see sometimes the dark paper on the Versamat. So there we go. And now, what did I do with all my pieces? There we go. There we go. Okay, so now I'm at this point, attach the back piece, and now I'm going to attach B and C and D. And so that is the big piece. Ah, here we go. So for the zip strip for this piece, I think it was, they had you cut it at 4.5 inches. I didn't cut it because I might change something up there. So I will attach this first. So this is the peach and then this is the ballerina. So you can see it's just slightly different. So I'm going to attach this first. And it is 3 3/4 from the bottom and 2.5 inches from the side. So oh, here's my ruler. I had it because I used it to bend the paper. So 3 3/4. There we go. So I even have I have pictures for all of the layouts already and they're printed. And so every time when I assemble a layout, I will be adding pictures, which I don't ever do when I create a workshop. I don't know if anybody watched the video from earlier, but I always have to leave my I leave my workshops blank, like just with photo boxes, until all of my customers are finished assembling them, because they use the pages when they're doing them. So I have a whole box of a full album from all of the workshops from this fall. And it is jam-packed album. So I'm just going to add these and kind of center them. I don't think I planned on doing much different for this one, other than I'll probably maybe add some washi in and some of the thread again. Okay, now the one on the bottom. And you can pick the dark or the light side depending on what kind of goes better with your photographs. Just because it says one side doesn't mean that's the way you have to do it. So I'm just kind of centering these to the photo mat. And I am going to put her kind of over here. So I think I want I use my Versamat all the time. I have, when I'm working on doing something, just gonna cut dovetails in this. I have two that sit in front of me. Like if I'm doing a double page spread, I always have two sitting in front of me. And because I use them all the time. So normally where I'm not filming, like at my desk, I have two that sit side by side so I can have a double page spread down. So I'm going to just kind of figure out how much I want here. It's one of my favorite tools for sure, the Versamat. Between that, and I'm super sad we don't have a ruler anymore, but between those two things, they are some of my favorites for sure. So I just want there to be enough room so that you still see the embossed cardstock. So So I'm going to add this first. Like so. And then this piece, the sticker. And the reason I kept this, the rest of it, is because I'm going to add some up at the top, I think. So I'm just going to stagger the distance a little bit. Yeah, I come from an architectural background. My husband took architecture, and now he's a banker. Totally. So we have all sorts of rulers and tools, and I love me a good ruler. So now I'm going to add my photograph and then build my cluster. Okay, getting there. We're almost finished. Sorry guys, this is taking so long. I knew this was going to be a long one. So I think instead of the raspberry on this one, I'm going to do a black circle just to tie into the other side of the page. Morning, Laura. Okay, same thing, just grabbing my little, so just because I think that I did it in black on the other side, so I'm going to do black on this side. And I'm not adding, they have a little embellishment grouping down here. I'm not going to add that. I want the focal really much higher right here. So I grabbed this. I'm going to put this heart up here, I think. And I grabbed another heart. So I'm going to, this is from the title sheet, the chipboard. So I think I'm going to add it up here. So that's how that grouping is going to go. And I think I might add some of this up here, about there. And I'm just going to dovetail it again. Yes, I'm super proud of myself for having printed photos for all of these layouts. So you guys are going to have to watch what I do with the rest of them. So I'm trying to pull a few different tools or a different technique to add to the page for each one. So there's 3 layouts. I'm going to add this on. Have you tried dyeing the white ribbon? I haven't tried with this ribbon, but I know it will take color super, super well. I love the white ribbon, actually. It's one of my favorites out of the seasonal expressions idea book. I know that maybe I'll do that on one of the other pages. I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore. Okay, so I'm going to do this just, I think, straight down. I'm always up to try something new. So I will play around with the ribbon and see what happens. I want this one the highest, I think. No, I think I'm putting this one down here. I don't like the dark up there. So maybe I'll go like this and move this one up. Okay. I'm going to put this one on some thin. I love the fact that the ribbon is so nice. It's like, I love the linen-y texture of the ribbon. So, and I had so much fun playing with it when I did the Oh What Fun workshop, because I wanted everything to kind of look like a present. So, it ties beautifully. It lays on the page really nicely. Yeah, so I'm super, that's the first time, I haven't done ribbon in a lot of workshops because lots of people are a little bit leery about adding ribbon onto their scrapbook pages, but I love the way that it looks on the page. Oh, okay, I need, there we go. I'm gonna add a little bundle of thread up here. Almost done. Should see my garbage pile sitting beside me. Okay. My mom's dog has settled down and he's gone to sleep again. So that is good. Nope. This one I think I want a little bit smaller, so there we go. That's better. So, like I said, they don't need to be perfect because you really kind of want that messy look anyway. And again, same thing. I'm going to just adhere it to the glue dot and then add it to the page. And just kind of tuck it right there. Add my flower. Now, before I decide if I'm going to leave that up there, I'm going to do this bottom grouping here. So I'm going to put, again, so this one, I might just have it come out slightly from this side. I love this embossing thread. Anybody that, any kind of way to add another texture in. And this is so thin, you can't even, like it hardly adds any thickness to the page, but it adds another texture. you guys, my glasses are driving me crazy. It's so hard to tie a knot when I'm not used to them. So, okay. Glue dots. And you can totally manipulate how you want it to stick down by how you add your glue dots to your bundle of thread. Rusty, you're fine. Stay here. Nope, somebody moved upstairs, so he's gone to check it out. Okay. So sorry guys, this week is going to be long videos. So yeah, I think I want those tucked in tight like that. So I tried to do them the same time of day last week, but it didn't always work out. So I mean, typically I'm pretty close to about the same time. I think that Friday though, I have a 10 o'clock appointment, Thursday or Friday, one of those days. So it will not be at 10 o'clock for sure. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my mom's dog is ringing his bells at the top of the stairs. He would like to go outside and play. Okay, last thing. Okay. So there we go. I think they turned out super awesome. The hello is actually a die cut from the compliments, from the boutique compliments. It's on the same sheet as the flowers are on. You just probably, it would easily, you could find a stamp too to go with it. So I don't think I can actually get both pages in, but that is how they turned out. They do sit side by side. I think they turned out super cute. So there you guys go. There's the first video for this week. And I hope you guys all have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. There's so many things on there, exactly. Thanks, Mary.